Alright, what is up guys? Vivi back with another video. And today we're going to be looking at a leader that I haven't really talked much about in Nefertari Vivi. I have not talked much about this leader because red and blue aren't exactly my two go-to color options to play in this game. But I did see a very interesting list that popped up on the website we always use, OnePieceTopDecks.com. Check that website out if you haven't already, if you haven't seen it. But recently over in the West, OP-04, and when I say the West, I am talking about Europe as well, because this is in Spain. This is in Spain. And it went 5-0 at a store championship that had 24 players in it. And yeah, I understand that is a smaller, that is a smaller tournament than what we might be, used to analyzing on this channel. However, it did beat a Zoro, Katakuri, Rebecca, BP Dofi. I think that's supposed to be green purple Dofi. It says BP Dofi, but I think it means green purple Dofi, not blue purple or black purple. Y'all tell me if I'm off on that. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what that means. But I think this is green purple Dofi, and then it says Mag. I'm not sure. Oh, Magellan. there we go. Magellan for the last one. So this deck was able to beat a red, yellow, blue, black, green, purple, and a purple deck. So it kind of hit everything, right? It hit, like, is that every different color? Yellow, red, blue, black, purple, green. Yeah, it hit every single color and was able to do very well, 5-0. And of course, like with all these smaller tournaments, the local store tournaments, we don't know how good the pilots are, and all kind of other different circumstances. But I still think there's something we can go off here to get an idea of, if this leader, Nefertari Vivi, can work. And I think it can. One thing I will say is, even though I have not, gone into this myself, the reason I didn't go into this is because of the color scheme. I play more of the black deck and yellow decks. Okay, black decks and yellow decks, that's really where I stick. And then anything that goes off of that, I'll try. Like if it's black-red or black-yellow or blue-yellow, yellow-purple, things like that. I don't mind trying that. But blue is kind of like my third color. That's like my third furthest option. And then it would probably, the purple, green, and red stuff, I typically stay away from. Not because I don't like not because the colors are bad, but because they're just not my style. The way that the game is designed and the flow of the game and the style. So Vivi, I still think, is a very good leader, and I love her effect. Activate main, pay 2 to draw a card. That's already good enough, but then on top of that, you can give one of your characters rush for the turn. Now, yes, this is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader that is dual colored, so therefore it has to have a stipulation attached to it per the way that the designers balance the game. And the stipulation on Vivi is this leader cannot attack. Okay, just like Rebecca. I know a lot of people really do not like that, and I'm right there with you. But at the same time, this is a very powerful effect. This is still a very powerful effect that she has here on her leader, printed. Excuse me. So, real quick, let's go ahead and go over the deck list, and then we'll talk about some details. So, 4 Otama, 2 Nami, 2 Zoro, 4 Sanji, 2 Nami. Now, this is the starter Nami, the one that gives a Rested Dawn. 4 Brook, 2 Beppo, 3 Gordon, 1 Ace, 3 Marco, 3 Chaka, 2 Pell, 2 Kaido, 2 Doflamingo, 3 cost Doflamingo, 1 Fire Fist, 2 Bad Manners Kit Course, 4 Happiness Punch, 3 3000 Worlds, and then 2 Red Rocks. Okay. So let's start at the top and go down from there. It's running a small Straw Hat package, Straw Hat Crew package. And now one thing you have to remember is with Nami, she cannot grab a Nami. So even this Nami, even though this is a different version of this one, it cannot grab it, even though they're different. They're both named Nami. So they can't actually, the Searcher Nami cannot grab this one. Okay, but it still can grab Zoro, Sanji, Brook, and then I think it was down here, the events, right? Yeah, the Bad Manners Kit Course, Happiness Punch, 3000 Worlds, and Red Rock. They are all Straw Hat Pirates cards. Okay, so that's still decent. let's see how many that is that he can actually search up. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Wait, 2, so 10, excuse me. 2 for Zoro, 4 Sanji, 4 Brook, that's 10. And then it's got these events down here, which is 6, 9, 11. So about 21 cards it can search up, something like that. 20 or 21 cards that it can search up. And remember, I didn't count Nami because you can't technically grab this with the search. For 2K counters, it looks like it's running 4 Otama, 4 Sanji, and 2 Beppos. But it does have a lot more defense than that. I do want to point out real quick. It is running the Rebellious Kit Course, or Bad Manners Kit Course, where it's a 0 cost, trash a card to gain plus 3,000. And the trigger's not bad on this one. They all have different triggers, all the different 0 cost, different colored cards. This one has up to one of your opponent's leader or characters gains minus 3,000 power during this turn. That's basically the effect, right? Instead of gaining 3,000, you're subtracting their power by 3,000. That's very nice. That's very solid. Very defensive. And then it does run Happiness Punch, which is a 1 cost counter that has up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets minus 2,000 power during this turn. After that, if your leader is active, up to one of your opponent's leader or characters gains minus 1,000 power during this turn. So notice what you did there, or what you can do there. You can give minus 2,000 to one character and minus 1,000 to another character, or you can just give minus 3,000 to a single character. But the stipulation is the additional minus 1,000, your leader has to be active. And that's where they play off of Vivi not being able to attack. Just like how Rebecca has stuff that interacts with her having to tap down for effects, Vivi has the same thing going on here. Okay, we all know what Zoro is. Sanji's just a great 2K counter, Straw Hat searchable, and with an effect that's very strong against the decks that don't want to attack. This card has a lot of utility. Right, if you're going against like a Nami, for example, where you know they're not going to attack your life realistically, okay, you play this card on turn 2, and they think, you know, they're going to know right away, like, oh, wow, so this guy knows what to do to start beating my health down and drawing extra cards from their life. So there's a lot of merit to run this as a 2K counter. And like I said, it's Straw Hat searchable. We know what this Nami does. This is the starter Nami, or the structure Nami, the structure deck Nami that gives a Rested Dawn card to a character or leader. Brook, this is just the 4 cost 5K, 1K counter Brook that you put a Dawn on them, attack, minus 2K power to 2 different characters. Beppo is an interesting card that is a 2K counter. It's a promotional card. So if you're looking at this card thinking, well, I've never seen that card. Yeah, you know, that's understandable. It is a promo card. It is Film, Mink Tribe, Heart Pirates type. So this is, for anyone who's interested in doing the red-purple law decks, and obviously if you're interested in doing Vivi, or in the future if you're looking at doing any kind of film package that will have red in it, Beppo is going to be worth picking up before it gets you know, too far out of price cost. Because at the time of us doing this video here, excuse me, let me go ahead and bring up Beppo. Whoops, can't spell. Beppo. It is currently, it's still pretty cheap at $270. Really probably closer to $3 a card. So if you are interested in ever pursuing any kind of Heart Pirates or film stuff that has to do with red, this is a pretty decent 2K counter. So back to what the card itself does. It's Nico Robin. It's a weaker version of Nico Robin. So Nico Robin's a 3 cost 4K with this effect. Beppo's a 2K counter, so it has a little extra utility. But Dawn ×1, when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. So, you know, very nice. But more often than not, this is just going to be a 2K counter. Okay, next up, Gordon. We all kind of know what this does. Again, this is another promo card. If you're looking at running Red Purple Law, I would definitely recommend snagging this card as soon as possible. And I should have kept this up. We're going to go for it again here. This card is starting to get a little bit pricey. So, you know, definitely, yeah, okay, yeah, it's gotten really pricey since I've last seen it. Yeah, I think the last time I checked this card was sometime around September, and it was about $10 a card. This is a promotional card that is now going for about $20 to $30 a card, as you can see here. That's rough, guys. That is very brutal. Okay, but now's the time to get it, because like y'all know, it only goes further and further up. One more card I want to show is like this is not a promo card, but it is a secret rarity card where it is, this card's $50 right now. You know what I mean? So whenever you see these cards are starting to get higher in price, that's probably the time to pick them up if you don't already have playsets of them, because they will keep going up and up and up. Now, some good news is, like, you know, you could technically get lucky and the card go down over time. Like, for example, this card. I don't know if anyone knows anything about this card, but when it won a big, I think it was Gen Con, it was in a deck that won, and it went all the way up to about $100 a card at one point, and now it's going back down. It's slowly going down to around $40 a card. But yeah, that's just so brutal. Who wants to pay that for a single card? And this isn't even a secret rare. This is a promotional 4 cost 5k 1k counter. Okay, so just trying to look out for you guys. You know, if you're interested in getting these cards, playing these decks. Next up, we got Ace as a one of. Now, the cool thing about this card is, okay, yes, it's a Whitebeard Pirates, and it will only get Rush if you have a Whitebeard Pirates leader, but it still gives the two minus 3,000 power, minus 3,000 to power during the turn, no matter who your leader is. And then Vivi, if you have 2 extra Dawn, you can give him Rush with the leader's effect and draw a card. So that is pretty nice. And again, just to rehash or recap, if I didn't already mention this, I'm pretty sure I did, but activate main, pay 2, draw 1 card, and give up to one of your characters Rush for the turn. That's what the leader's effect does. And that is very powerful, right? That is very powerful. That would give something like Marco Rush, right? I mean, think about any of these cards that don't have Rush. They don't have Rush for a reason. It would be imbalanced if they did, right? That's the logic. But with Vivi, Nefertari Vivi as your leader, you'll be able to give a lot of these cards Rush. In fact, the only card you can't give Rush to would be Kaido, because you just simply don't have enough Dawn. It's that simple. Kaido, very powerful monster card though, or boss card for the end of the game. We know what Marco does. So he has 3 of these. He's not running any of the 4 cost blocker Marcos. Excuse me. But at the time of me writing, or at the time of me recording this, we're still down to only 1 Marco in the West. We can only have 1 Marco. Next, he has Chaka. This is an OP-04 Alabasta Kingdom card that came out with Vivi. This is a 3 cost, 5,000 power character with Dawn ×1 when attacking. If your leader is Nefertari Vivi, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. After that, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with power 0 or less. So that, you know, that's got some nice utility at taking out some of the smaller characters. But I'm not sure how I feel about this card overall, because maybe this is good against Law. Let me say that. Maybe this is good against Law and good at taking out little blockers and stuff. Because remember, you can't even really combo this card with the leader unless you have 6 Dawn for the turn. Because you'll have to pay 3 Dawn to play him. Then you'll have to pay 2 to give him Rush. Then you'll have to pay another one, or well, not pay, but attach 1 Dawn to swing for 6k. And then you can only KO something that's 3,000, or excuse me, well, yeah, that's 3,000 power or less. Unless you can combo it with another effect. So again, I'm not a huge fan of this card, but I see where it can work. It would definitely be good at wiping out some of the early stuff, like your opponent's Namis, maybe even like you know, Dadan, cards like that. Even like this Sanji, if you're going to get someone who has this going on, there's some potential there. Definitely potential. Now this next card I like a lot more. Pell is a 5 cost 6,000 power character that has Dawn ×1 when attacking. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with power of 4,000 or less. With 4,000 power or less. That I like a lot better, but at the same time, again, if you want to get any like nasty combos off, you'll almost need like 1 Otama, so that's 1 Dawn, 2 Dawn for Vivi's effect, 1 Dawn for Pell's effect, and then the 5 Dawn to play him. So it ends up being like a 9 Dawn effect, right? Where if you want to get this guy down, swing, and do everything in 1 turn. But if you can do that, you're potentially taking out 2 characters at once, because you can swing 6k into 1 character if you can give him Rush, and then you can KO a 6,000 power or less character if you did the combo I said with Otama. And that's probably where Brook comes in, and I can understand why this is a 4 of, because you kind of want him down to be able to do this Dawn ×1 effect as soon as you can combo it with either Marco, who KOs a 3,000 or less, Chaka gives minus 3,000 power, and then Pell gives, or KOs a 4,000 or less. They kind of all just combo together. So very nice. Gordon as well, by the way, he gives minus 3,000 power for the turn. So there's actually, this deck plays very similar to Red Purple Law. Not completely, bear with me guys, I'm not saying it's literally the same, it's not at all. But it has a lot of the, well, I shouldn't even say it's like Red Purple Law. It has that power manipulation and popper effect that's needed. Like with the black decks that I usually run, it's all about cost reduction and then a popper. So you have the reduction and the KO effect. You have to drop their cost down and then KO with another card. Well, in this deck, it's all about dropping their power down so that you can KO with these cards. But as we all know, with red, dropping the power down alone is actually just insane, right? So if they have like a 5k blocker, or if they have a character, let me just say it like this: if they have a character that's sideways, like tapped or rested, and you give them minus 2,000 power, well, they're marked for death now. Whereas if you reduce their cost, nothing happens until you use a pop effect. So it's like with the power stuff, it's actually just, it's more useful. It's like all around, it's more useful. So that is really, these effects and these actions are very nice, especially with the Gordon, especially with the Otama, dropping down the cost. Okay, Kaido, we know what this does. Bounces an 8 and a 3. Doflamingo is going to set the top cards of your deck however you need them. And then it runs a pretty large suite, event suite down here. So what is this? We got 3, 6, 9, 12. So we got 12 events down here. I like the one of Fire Fist. That is very nice because there's a lot of power manipulation in this deck. Excuse me. And you don't want too many Fire Fists because you do have to trash an event from your hand. If you guys can't already see that right here, you have to discard an event from your hand in order to get this effect off. But then you're KOing a 5k and a 4k on the board. Very, very powerful effect here. Next up, the Bad Manners Kit Course. I think we already talked about this a little bit. If not, you're going to get plus 3,000 power during the battle, and if you get the trigger, you're giving someone else minus 3,000 power for the battle, where you don't have to trash a cards. So that is very nice. That is very nice. Happiness Punch, very strong with Vivi, like we said, because she's probably going to be standing. So all you have to do is have an active leader, and then boom, minus 2,000 power to that character, minus 1,000 to that character. It's too bad this card was not a main / counter, but maybe that would have been too strong. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Okay, 3,000 worlds. This is just great removal. 4 cost to get rid of a 5 cost or less. You're paying 4, you're getting rid of a 5. So automatically, that's very, very powerful. This is going to help take out opposing Marcos. And for example, in the matchups this guy had, Zoro, Katakuri, Rebecca, Dofi, and Magellan. Okay, well, against Magellan, that takes out the 5 cost Magellan. Against Rebecca, that's going to take out Sabos or Kairos. Against Katakuri, you can take out their what's that searcher, Perospero, or anything like that, or even just any of their 3 to 5 cost characters would probably be worth taking out. Zoro, you're going to be able to take out their Marcos if they're running those. Rebecca already said. Dofi, you're going to be able to take out their queen, their 5 cost queens, and you name it. The Udas, even Sugar if you have to. For those who know, you know. If this is actually green-purple Dofi, like I think it's supposed to be, even though it says blue-purple, green-purple Dofi, that Sugar's so annoying. And then last but not least, we got the 2 red rocks. This is going to help take out the huge monsters, your Edward Newgates, your 10-cost Charlotte Linlin, opposing Kaidos, 9 and 10-cost Kaidos, you name it, right? Kuzans, if Rebecca's running that, or even just Luffy's, that's fine. It'll take those out. And yeah, and I think that about wraps it up for the list, guys. So what do y'all think about this list? Does this list look interesting to you? Do you think there's any improvements it could have, or have you seen a list that's a little bit better? Like I said, it was in a 24-person tournament, but it went 5-0 in the Western format, going against Zoro, Katakuri, Rebecca, Dofi, and Magellan. I think that's pretty decent, pretty interesting. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for this deck because I always thought, when I first read the leader effect, I thought, okay, that's pretty useful. I didn't think it was crazy or anything, especially since it can't attack, just like Rebecca. But I thought, okay, this is, in my mind, right? Y'all bear with me here. In my mind, in a mind that runs nothing but black and yellow decks, I thought, okay, this is kind of like a worse version of Rebecca's effect. You know, that's what was going on in my mind. But it's still decent because it can give rush instead of like, you know, doing a top 2 search for 1 cost. This does draw 1 for 2 for a 2 cost, and you could potentially give someone rush. But yeah, I still feel like, for me personally, I feel like 1 or 2 cards are missing. And who knows, maybe in OP-05 or OP-06 or OP-06 it'll get what it needs. But yeah, all right, guys, that's about it for this video. I don't want to keep y'all for too long. I appreciate y'all hanging out for this long. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Come hang out with us on the Discord if you haven't gotten on there already. We have a lot of fun. We talk about One Piece 24/7 on there. It's a good time, and so far a really solid community. I'm very happy the way it's turned out. And yeah, that's about it, guys. And until next time, peace.